Hello, everyone. Nick Chavez here from Chavez and Valco, your key to immigration solutions. Here to give you the top highlights of the week, starting with a topic most of us have been talking about, which is what is Congress going to do about these immigration reform plans? They're on the clock right now, rushing to pass something before the new session starts on January 3rd. As we discussed last week, we were monitoring discussions about this pathway for Dreamers. If you recall, Senators Sinema and Tillis were outlining an immigration plan for the millions of undocumented Dreamers. Well, as of yesterday, those discussions kind of fell apart. And instead, they're punting this issue for the next session, which will be tougher to pass laws with a Republican majority in the House. It's not to say that this issue cannot be raised by other senators. They can. It could also be included on other bills. But the fact that these efforts have dropped so publicly is not really boosting anyone's confidence right now. The other bill that we're monitoring is the EAGLE Act. This bill would eliminate per country caps for employment-based visas and increase the cap on family visas. What does this mean? It means that there would be less waiting times for people to apply for immigrant visas, especially for those who are coming from countries that have long waiting times already. India, China, Mexico, and it sounds great. Well, that effort has hit a bump on the road. Voting had been scheduled for this week, but it has been postponed again. There has been some opposition from groups because they are concerned that most of the visas will be taken by nationals of those countries that I mentioned, which would leave out nationals from smaller countries. So that is basically the concern. How about mixed status families? So we've been tracking the American Families United Act, otherwise known as HR 2920, which intends to bring relief to many U.S. citizen spouses who are married to undocumented individuals for whom there is no current pathway for legalization. They can't legalize under the current laws. Basically, this bill would help millions of people get their status here in the United States who are in that situation without having to leave and wait for 10 years outside the country. So what's going on with that? Well, things haven't really moved much from last week, but Congresswoman Maria Salazar proposed some measures recently, which included the language of HR 2920, along with other measures to reduce backlogs and eliminate visa caps. And so we'll continue to monitor that effort. What about farm workers? The House already passed the Farm Workforce Modernization Act to help agricultural workers obtain legal status. They just need a Senate bill. Well, Senator Bennett of Colorado was working on such a bill and introduced a counterpart bill yesterday that does exactly that. But it needs Republican support in the Senate. And the Republican senator who was negotiating with Bennett and was working on this bill with Bennett is nowhere to be found. So it's, once again, people with politics, right? On a good note, we are also monitoring a bill that would give legal residence to Afghan nationals who evacuated their country during the fall of Kabul 2 years ago. Some have applied for parole, which is just a temporary fix. But the bill has gained some momentum. We're just waiting for Republican leadership to rise to the occasion. And there are other measures, such as the one for documented Dreamers who are here in the United States. They're here legally, but they would lose protections once they turn 21. And this provision and others might, they might make their way on this spending bill that Congress is talking about. It's called the Omnibus bill, and it's a spending bill. And we've seen all sorts of crazy stuff added to these spending bills in the past before they go to the floor for a vote. So I'm sure we're going to hear more about immigration proposals and measures next week as we get closer to the end of the year. Now, if you want more information about these proposals or bills, check out our videos from last week where we discuss these proposed changes more in depth. And believe it or not, I have other news that are not related to immigration reform. Um, this has to do with the auto extension of green cards for those who are applying for naturalization. Starting on December 12th of this year, applicants who are filing their naturalization applications will get their green cards automatically extended for 24 months from the date the card expires. So USCIS will start issuing receipt notices that contain information about the automatic extensions, which you can show to your employers and other agencies as valid proof of current permanent resident status. One important note, this new policy, this new change does not apply if your card is already expired or lost by the time that you file your naturalization application. You would have to file for a new permanent resident card in that situation. Lastly, an update on the Remain in Mexico policy, which we've discussed many times on our show. A federal judge in Texas has paused the termination of the Remain in Mexico program. If you recall, the Biden administration sought the end of this controversial program that kept thousands of migrants in Mexico while they were waiting for their immigration court hearing. And in June, the Supreme Court ruled that the administration, they had the discretion, they had the authority to end this program, but it sent the case back to a federal court to see if the withdrawal of the program complied with other laws. And that's what's happening right now. And with that, friends, we are done. Be sure to check our website, check our sites, check our YouTube page, Facebook for any updates. Subscribe to get these news and updates if you haven't done so already. And be sure to like and share this information with others. Thank you.